I know this sounds naive, but how does someone earn money from YouTube?
Views. Basically, it breaks down to views and minutes watched. So if it's a 30-minute video and they only watch 5 minutes, I would probably make less money than if they watched the entire 30 minutes.
So when I watch your YouTube videos, you made money off that, right?
Correct.
There's ads on the video?
Depending on the length of the video, if you see ads in between the video, and it's like, oh, you're watching the video and then it jumps to an ad, yes, that ad, as you watch it, I do make money off that. But it's not something I contract with YouTube, it's something that YouTube does on their own. I just say, hey, put these ads in there, and they do whatever they want.
All right. And I meant to ask you this when we were corresponding before, but I've been corresponding with you at Stouts Pro Se Litigation. What is that?
That is a friend of mine that helps. He helped me understand the pro se litigation.
Okay. So when I send something to Mark Stout, is it going to him or is it going to you?
It's going to both of us.
Okay. Because when I've been sending emails to Mark Stouts, I've been assuming I've been communicating with you directly.
No,
because
he then sends it to me.
All right. So in one of our emails, either you or Mark referred to yourself as an activist. You remember that email that we exchanged?
Correct.
Do you consider yourself an activist?
I do.
Okay. And what do you consider yourself an activist for?
Gun rights. I do help explain to the entire state of Florida that if you don't have a concealed weapons permit, this is one of the only ways that you can actually conceal carry or openly carry under the law without a permit. And then once again, I also explain that there are two different classifications. If law enforcement does not understand the law and you get caught with a concealed firearm and they don't know that law, it's a felony. Mm-hmm. If they don't know the law and you get caught openly carrying, it's a misdemeanor. The two differences, I always recommend open carry because of the charge.
An open carry violation is a misdemeanor, a concealed violation is a felony.
Correct. If they don't know the law, and then they're going to have to deal with the payment of trying to get out of jail. Felony compared to misdemeanor are two different worlds.
And in the case of that we're here about today involving Officer Conkers, this encounter that you had with him culminated in an arrest, correct?
Correct.
And were you arrested for a misdemeanor, a felony, or both?
Correct. Misdemeanor.
Two misdemeanors, right?
Yes. I believe it was open carry and resisting without violence.
Right. Was that the first time in your life you'd ever been arrested?
No.
How many times have you been arrested?
I want to say 2, maybe possibly 3, and most of it was all misdemeanor marijuana charges.
As an adult or as a juvenile?
As an adult.
And what agencies arrested you?
I want to say it was Daytona Beach and Port Orange, and these are all in Volusia County.
Is the arrest by Officer Conkers the first and only time in your life you've ever been arrested for a firearm offense?
A direct firearm? Yes.
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 You've never been convicted of a felony, correct?
No.
And have you ever been convicted of a crime involving dishonesty, like fraud, forgery, or anything
No.
like that? How much time did you spend in custody as a result of Officer Conkers' arrest of you?
I think the entire, from the arrest until I was released on bond, was roughly about 24 hours.
You were arrested on the causeway or the
bridge.
The bridge in Bay Harbor and Bal Harbor.
Right there on the Oliver Canal, the bridge.
I've seen the video.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And when you were arrested, where were you taken?
I was taken to their substation in the mall. I don't know exactly the name of the mall or anything.
Bal Harbor Mall. shops in
that,
Bell Harbor.
yeah, it's something to that effect.
And how long were you held at the substation?
I was held there until I had to use the restroom, and then he transported me, I believe, to the their police department that was under construction. And oh, sorry about that. He transferred from there to there and back to the substation at the mall, and I think that was it.
Did you go to the other station because you had to use the restroom?
Correct.
There was no restroom facility at the substation?
No, I guess not inside their substation in the mall. They didn't want me to use the restroom in the mall area. They had to, take me there. And during that event of him transporting me, I was not buckled in. He slammed on the brakes at some point, and my head hit his, I guess, the plexiglass while I was in cuffs. And that was at transportation, and then on the way back, then he subsequently buckled me in after that.
Okay. Did you, were you booked into the Dade County Jail?
Yes.
Okay, Dade County Jail does a medical screening of everyone on intake, right?
At that point, but I did have medical come to assist me with my shoulder injury that I was talking about.
Just the shoulder injury that stemmed from your Miami Beach arrest? Or Miami Beach detention, I'll maybe rephrase
Sure.
that.
Yes, it was from the Miami Beach detention.
Yeah, I saw the video. You made a complaint on your video that your shoulder was injured, right?
Correct.
Okay. As a result of any actions of Officer Conkers, are you claiming to have sustained any physical injuries?
More, depending on how you think of physical, it's more the lack of caring for my well-being while in detention.
All right, and how did Officer Conkers fail to care for your well-being while you were in detention?
Like I said, by not restraining me properly while transporting me to use the restroom, and then as well as I can't say that there's a statutory right, but whenever somebody complains of injuries, usually they try to assist in those injuries or those complaints of the citizen. And everything was ignored until I had told him to get paramedics to assist me.
Well, he did call for paramedics at the scene of the arrest, right?
No. It was only when I was at their substation. That's when I requested it.
Okay. And when you requested it, were they called in?
Yes.
Did the paramedics render any care or treatment to you?
They couldn't.
Why?
Because I was handcuffed, and they could not handcuff me in a position to help with the pain.
You had shoulder pain
Correct.
as a result of being handcuffed?
For, I believe, the 45 minutes or so from the time I was detained in handcuffs until the end of everything, until I was in Dade County. I complained of shoulder. I told them about my shoulder.
Okay. And have you received any diagnosis from a medical provider as it relates to your shoulder?
The only thing they can say is I need to go to get MRIs, and the next thing is probably going to be surgery.
Okay. And who have you treated with or consulted with as it relates to your shoulder?
It is going to be with urgent care. It's in the town I live. I couldn't tell you the name.
Urgent care in Port St. Lucie?
It's right near my house in Port St. Lucie, yes.
Okay. If I send you an email for the address of that urgent care facility, will you be able to look it up and provide it to me?
Yes.
How many times have you sought care or treatment from that facility?
I believe twice.
And have you been given any diagnosis?
Just rotator cuff and ligaments type of thing.
Now, a torn rotator cuff can only be confirmed on MRI. Have you had a shoulder MRI yet?
No, I have not. And that's why I say the MRI that's what they were trying to tell me. That's the next step. But all right, this is now we're going back into the Miami incident. When I was in Miami, I did have health insurance, and when the incident happened, I went to try to get an MRI, and then I had I either quit my job or lost my job. I can't remember. It's been like 3 years, 2-3 years. And so when I lost my insurance, they said I couldn't get the MRI. So everything is based off this MRI, and I haven't been able to get an MRI.
And I don't represent Miami Beach, and it's not,
Yeah.
what they did to you is not particularly concerning to me unless you're making that claim against Officer Conkers for something that arose out of what Miami Beach did. Are you claiming that Officer Conkers did anything to cause any type of internal derangement to your shoulder?
It didn't help the shoulder.